Hello everyone. Today we have Dr. Sitangshu Khatua, an associate professor in finance from St. Xavier's University, Kolkata. He has a 25 years of experience in academics, research, and industry. He also has written many books like Project Management and Appraisal, IRR, a blunder, still it is popular, and one of his recent books is an introduction to financial economics. So, sir, I welcome you on behalf of the College Dunia, India's largest student review platform. Sir, let us start the interview from the first question. Like, how did you help? How did you come to this college, and what was your vision, and how are you trying to achieve the same?
Actually, yes. After my BTech and then BTech from NIT Durgapur and MTech from B College Shibpur under CU, then actually I was in industry and I never thought of coming back in academics. Means just opposite side of the during my college life. But the point is, when I did my engineering, my BTech, that time I started giving tuition, to my younger generation, and that actually means the ignition point of means coming back in academics.
Okay, sir. So basically,
I was in industry, and then. Maybe there might be some my personal reason, my family reason that I wanted to back in. I was there in initially in Bhubaneswar for my work, and then in Mumbai. Then I actually for my family, I means there is a requirement that I have to come back in Bengal, means in Durgapur, that is my native place. So then what happened that NIT Durgapur, my own college, they had that time, it is during 2000, they had that time they wanted to start their MBA department in their engineering college. And one of my professor from humanities, from economics, Professor P.P. Sengupta, he was the key person to start the MBA department of NIT Durgapur. So he called me, the Sitangshu, why don't you come and join in your own college? Then I thought, yes, it's a big opportunity for me. I may teach in my own college where I was one time, I was a student. So that way I had started. And from there, I went to XISS Ranchi. I did my PhD from XLRI Jamshedpur. And then eventually I came back once again in Kolkata. Initially, I was there in ICFI Business School, then Heritage. And then recently I am at Xavier Business School at St. Xavier's University, Kolkata. So in that way, I am. This is the circle completes, and I personally found that this should be my area of work. Because in industry, I never satisfied that much. What actually I am right now, I am enjoying my work to the full extent.
Right, sir. Like it seems that your journey has started from a tuition teacher till a faculty at Xavier's. It was a great road towards success. And so, like, you have been too much in this industry, like 20 plus years in this industry. So, sir, being a faculty of finance department, what are your basically the roles and responsibilities towards the students?
Yeah, see, apart from the subject that I am a finance professor, apart from that, as a management teacher in a B school, so there your role will be first of all, your primary role will be teaching, then your research, then your administration. Okay.
Right.
And also there are some special role towards your students. Okay. Now at Xavier Business School, St. Xavier's University, my role, apart from teaching my courses, 3 courses per semester, so 6 courses per annum. So apart from that, I do have a lot of research work. Okay, I have to publish a research paper that you can go through from my profile. That every year I am in research. I have to present in paper in conference. So every year I have to develop new research area, new research paper, and also writing book for my students. That is also another area
Right,
of my
sir.
focus, and which indirectly help to my to my students. Yes.
Yes, sir. So, like you said about your books.
Haha.
So, like, could you like give a elaboration about your books and what all books you have written? Like, I see a lot of books
Yeah.
you have written in
My
your
first
journey.
book, that was, I started in 2008 and I could complete in 2011. 3 years of my 3 years I totally devoted on that book, and there for that I was the sole author, and that book was published from Oxford University Press, and its book is on project management and appraisal. It's a which is a elective course in finance in MBA level, and till now this books is selling, and every year when I am receiving the letter from my publisher, actually it gives me immense pleasure that yes, this much copy was sold, even in domestic market as well as in export. So that gives us a really pleasure that yes, those 3 years effort actually it matters. Okay, so that book is really, it's very close to my heart. After that I wrote 2-3 books, but recently in this year I had published another one, which is also a very based on very evolving area, that is financial economics. It's a interface between economics and finance. Okay, and this book is for the Calcutta University students. They are the economics honor students. They have a course on financial economics. So to cater them, I have written this book, and it just last month it was launched, and there was a very good response. So in that way, so that is my research and creative area. Apart from that, we do have lot of administrative area, like administrative work. Recently in this year, I am the placement professor in charge placement. So I do look after the placement activities as well with my students for their placement activities. And also I am as a finance professor, I am the in charge of the finance club, which is mainly run by students. Okay, and also I am very much keen for various cultural activities and drama and all. So I am also the professor in charge in art and culture group, cultural group, and drama group. They are also before COVID, I actually with my students I performed a street drama, and that got prizes also in university level. Okay, so in that way, so and another thing is mentoring. Apart from that, so it is for developing and helping students, not only for their academics or their professional career, but also in the personal level also. And Xavier Business School, it's a residential program. So students are staying at hostel. So there we have a 24/7 basis contact with our students, and we want that they should develop holistically. So they are not only the curriculum wise they will learn. There are a lot of things beyond curriculum. So they are also, we have to devote. So in that way, we are trying to help our students at St. Xavier's University.
So like you just told that. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Like you just told that you are a part of placement team, right, sir? You are heading the placement team, and like, sir, I'm just a bit curious to know, like, lots of students are waiting to know actually what were the impacts of COVID-19 on placement. Like,
yes,
sir. That is one of the things that every student would be liking to know. Could you just elaborate on the same?
Very true. Especially for MBA in management field, because I know that is my limit. Okay. For management, what I felt, actually, I got very much scared last year that what will happen due to COVID and economy is going down. Okay. Industry, there are a lot of layoff and so many things are happening in especially in India and abroad as well. But thankfully, and we are fortunate enough for freshers, okay, what I feel in my college, my university, my institute, even the other B schools in Kolkata, even in Eastern region or even in India, that even reputed B school as well as tier 2 B schools, the impact of COVID, which we felt that much was not there. It may be there in the senior level. Okay, there are a lot of layoff and job cut, salary cut. It was happened. Really, it was happened in IT and other industries as well. But for fresh recruitment, I didn't find that there is a huge impact. Definitely, there was impact, but not that much. Maybe say earlier, if there was not COVID, it was 100%, but due to COVID, it may be 95%.
Right.
So in that way, but I initially I was scared that it might be 80%. It might be reduced to 80%. But thank God that was not happening.
Right, sir. Sir, if we think COVID had some negative impacts as well as some positive impacts. And
absolutely.
We are looking towards the positive side of the COVID-19. Work from home, study from home. And yes. So like I said, study from home. This was a new trend that got into the picture due to this pandemic COVID-19. So what were the major challenges that you faced? And what were the challenges the students also faced during this pandemic?
Yes. Now you said that there are some positive impact of COVID also. Yes, definitely there is a positive impact. That's why today I'm talking with you.
Right. Definitely.
Without before COVID, it was not. Nobody can think of that. Even in that way, also it's possible. So that is actually, this is the evolution and struggle for existence, survival of the fittest.
Right.
So as we are facing these particular challenges, so we are innovating certain new ideas, new avenues, new paths, new process, new methods. But every methods, every new things, there are challenges and there are merits and demerits, pros and cons. That is everywhere it is there. Even for physical classroom also there are some problems. Fine. So for online, from the professor's perspective, when we are teaching in online mode, where it is in front of my laptop screen, it is only few rectangular boxes with their names. Okay, even students are not willing to open their camera. Yeah, so that is I think the major challenge, to speak in front of black screen with few names and you speak hours after hours. Okay, that is a major challenge for a faculty member, for a professor. And another challenge is to engage your students through online mode without even without see them face to face, without eye contact. Okay, only just with your audio, with your voice, you have to engage everyone. That entire 1 hour or 1.5 hours long classes, and that even when students are at their home with a very say very say posture, okay, and they are hardly willing to interact.
Right.
Even in the class, physical class also, 10% of the students are generally willing to talk, willing to participate. 90% we have to instigate them as a teacher. But in online, nobody is willing. There, that is the major challenge. And there actually I cannot blame our students community as a whole, because all of a sudden, from morning 9 o'clock to evening 5 o'clock, only sitting in front of just a black screen and listening various theories from various voices, okay, actually it's very pathetic, very pathetic. Just sitting at home, and that even in the home atmosphere, it's a very casual atmosphere. So to do any serious thing in a very casual atmosphere, casual posture, casual surroundings, it is really tough. So that challenge is very much there from the students' point of view as well as from faculty point of view. But there are so many plus points as well. Like as these online things are there, that way we are surviving. Our students are surviving. They're completing their course, they are giving exams, and they are going for their placements, their job. So that way, these industries are surviving through this online mode. And there are, if you think about the cost effectiveness, it really cost effective. It's really cost effective if we think about online mode. So, from student as well as faculty, from institute, from as a whole, it's very cost effective. And look, think about the reach. Like if I float a course, online course, I may reach across the globe.
Right, sir.
Okay. And similarly, a student can reach any faculty member teaching at MIT, Harvard, anywhere in globe. So there are plus points, there are positive things. We have to think it positively.
Yes, sir. Right.
But
right.
Definitely there are certain issues, but even we can overcome those issues. And I think there are more plus points, more positive things, because the cost factor you have to think first of all in a country like India, where you can deliver any class of lectures, any class of teaching at a minimal cost. That
right,
is
sir.
really amazing. Okay.
Right, sir.
Yes.
Right. So like you said, you were having some engagement plans with the students during this online class. So what were the practical to bring the practical approach towards subjects? What were the steps you were taking and making the students ready for industries?
Yes, there actually, because I know, especially during these online classes, if I teach, continuing only theory and lectures, students will even get bored and they will not listen. And it's not possible also. They are also a human being. So instead of doing that, I just briefly explain the theory and directly I will go to the practice, okay, where they should apply the theories, apply the various concepts, which maybe I discuss in a brief, okay, or maybe previous day I send the material. Okay. So they have to learn, and then in the class where we actually solve various situations, we discuss various cases through case studies, where actually I am not delivering too many things. It is their job, they have to interact, they have to contribute in the class. So automatically that engagement, which is the biggest challenge, that can be overruled.
Right.
Okay. So I had taken these particular steps, which in normal offline classes, I may not take that much, but here I am taking this. Even we are solving sums also. Like we are using in our offline classes using Blackboard, the same thing we are using here also. I force them to solve sums during these online classes with pen and pencil and paper. Okay, so in that way, I wanted to make them engage, and I am successful.
Right, sir. Definitely. So, like, this is a very unique approach that you have taken, like engaging student with case studies, sums, and
Yes.
all. This is really.
And
a
also
nice
I'm
approach.
picking up names and I am calling them. So they have to have, means it is not like only log in the class and then simply go away. No, it's
Right,
not
sir.
possible.
These are for the backbenchers who just switch off their cameras and switch. Definitely.
But as a teacher, the biggest challenge is to bring backbencher in the front.
Right, sir. So, sir, what are your views upon the placements and higher education opportunities from your institute?
If I talk about my institute, Xavier Business School, St. Xavier's University, like this year, even due to COVID also, but our placement is crossed 95%. And the more or less, it is not like that the performance placement is drastically reduced from last year or even last year. It is not like that. Fortunately, we did our job. So, and there are ample opportunities for higher education. As we are St. Xavier's University, and we are also offering PhD courses. And there are PhD courses in management also, where this is our third batch. So from our first batch, few students, they have already joined in our PhD program also. And some of our MBA students, they had joined in PhD program. They had gone for higher education in other university in India as well as abroad. So, and we are promoting higher education for our students, like in final semesters, we have a dissertation paper. Students has to complete one dissertation, one thesis paper under guidance of one faculty member. And there they have to actually write a term paper, dissertation paper, with a research article. And we are also promoting for all students, all prospective students, to write a paper under guidance of one faculty member. So that research activities and the means in the long run doing PhDs, with that also we are keeping in mind. But obviously that is not for all the students. It is for few students who are really good, who are really come to in academics, who are really going for higher education, who are really looking for that. So for those, actually we have identified, and we are doing the job, whatever it is required. And it actually happened. And that's why few of our students, they are already now in our PhD program as well.
Right, sir. Right. So, like, how do you help your students to cope up with the competition being so high in this outside world? Like, how do you make them industry ready?
So they are actually in MBA. I personally think that is the only job for a management student. That how to train yourself during these 2 years, so that you will be capable to survive in your job. Okay. So this is actually the training for these 2 years. Here, apart from your learning so many concepts and other things, the best part is how you can cope up stress. How do you train yourself to cope up stresses, to cope up various challenges in life? So that I think that is the biggest training which is required for an MBA student, rather than academics and learning courses, concepts, theories. So how to cope up stress, how to cope up various challenges in life. Because in industry, you have to face these particular things and how to make decision quickly and efficiently. So for this, apart from the courses and even in our each and every courses, according to the flavor of that course, we have a project. That project can be individual or group project, which is inclined to the particular course, which is inclined to that particular industry. Like I teach IAPM, Investment and Analysis and Portfolio Management, or SAPM. So there, actually, I did stock market game with hypothetical capital. Okay, I did that. And it's a competition. And there also, I will do another exercise. It's a project I have given them, individual project, where they will select some stocks, and for last 5 years they will evaluate those stocks and they will make a portfolio, and by using simulation, how optimized they can make their portfolio so that their return will be more and risk will be less. So these practical things we are doing so that the student who has taken this course, who will be equipped with stock market and the stock market trading and what can be the job of an stock analyst. So they are always already equipped with the particular industry where he may work. In that way, we are developing them and to become industry ready.
Right, sir. So, like, as you said that you have lots of extracurricular activities that help the students. Like, is your college also organizing some activities like conclaves and all for the students?
Yeah. We have marketing conclave, HR conclave, finance conclave. For each specialization, we have a different club, and students guided by 1 or 2 faculty members, those clubs are operating. And during COVID, we couldn't organize offline event, but online event, it is a compulsory from each club, monthly 1 event. And even in our college institute fest, B School Fest, where it's all India basis. Okay, and there the students means participation from XLRI, XMB in Eastern region, IIM Shillong participation came, and it was actually organized by the student itself, and it is not like only cultural thing. It's actually a business event, where a lot of business activities, games, quizzes, it was happened, and stock market game. There are various ad competition from marketing area. So this was very much common in our Xavier Business School. Also, we are giving emphasis on the sports activities, because we think that for well-being of a person, okay, that to be being the physically fit, that is also our utmost requirement. And in our campus, we have all type of sports facilities, as well as we are also giving emphasis on literature and drama, because theater is a particular event where your leadership and your team building skill is exactly developed, and that has been developed not in a very theoretical way. Okay, and not like it has been forced. It is very internally, students are motivated, and in a very practical way, that team building exercise was done through the theater exercise or drama exercise, and it gives a lot of confidence when people are enacting in front of audience. It gives them a lot of confidence. Their personality has been changed a lot. So in that way, we want to give them a holistic development.
Right, sir. As you said, so it is just like fun and learning on one page.
Absolutely.
So to end with one last question, so what are your advice for the students? They are going through this deadly pandemic, and many of the students are demotivated during this time. So what is your advice on a personal level for those students?
Okay. So I have two things, my dear students. For short term, like during this pandemic, it's a short term event. It will over, maybe within few months or maybe by next year it will be over. So it's a short term. So for this short term, my advice, it's not advice, my honest, humble request and my suggestion that be patient. This pandemic will be over. Don't be impatient. Have your patience. And as we have already overcome last 1.5 years, so another half a year, another 6 months, also we will overcome. And finally, our earlier days will once again revive. It will come back, and we will have our wonderful world once again. Right. Okay, so it will be there. So this darkness will be erased, and the beautiful sunlight will come. That is my first suggestion. And for the long term, what I once again I want to say, my dear student, that don't, especially for management student, MBA student, I want to say you that don't run behind the placement. Rather, during these 2 years, you prepare yourself so that placement will automatically running behind you. You need not bother about placement. Come for this MBA course, and maybe 95% student, this will be your last academic endeavor, last academic assignment. Do it with wholehearted, with full of your enthusiasm and full of energy and full of your 100% of your effort. Do it and learn as much as possible. Do your job up to the fullest with full energy and full enthusiasm. Not like only for getting placement. No. Placement will automatically fall in place. As you have seen, as we have discussed also, that during this pandemic, it's a huge crisis time. Even MBA students, actually, they are not suffering in a lot due to pandemic. So you have your opportunities. Entire world is waiting for you. But it is your job during these 2 years. You utilize these 2 years up to the fullest so that you can enjoy your rest of the life up to the, once again, with full of satisfaction. World is waiting for you, but it is your job. You have to prepare yourself during these 2 years time so that world will happily accept it. Thank you, my dear student.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful message. It was like a heart-touching message for every student. Thank you so much, sir. So it was nice connecting with you.
You also, Vitosh, and thank you, collegedunia.com, for inviting me and for giving me an opportunity to talk with the students in the entire this web world. So thank you very much once again, and my best wishes to my dear students. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.